The call came on a perfect Sunday morning, just as I settled into my porch swing with coffee and my tablet. Of course it did. My mother always had a talent for ruining peaceful moments. Sophia, darling, her voice dripped honey through the speaker, a sure sign something terrible was coming. I have the most wonderful news. My name is Sophia, and I hadn't spoken to my family in 8 years, not since the night they declared me dead to them for choosing art over law school. Now I own a thriving design studio and the beautiful hillside property they once sneered at me for buying. Funny how life works out. Mom, I said flatly, already feeling my shoulders tense. What do you want? Oh, don't be like that. Your brother Jackson is getting married to the most delightful girl, Isabella Grace. You remember her from the country club? I remembered Isabella. She'd once accidentally spilled red wine on my white dress at a charity event, then laughed about it with my mother. Congratulations to them, I said, starting to end the call. Wait, there's more. Mom's voice rose an octave. We've decided to have the wedding at your place. Isn't that perfect? It'll bring the whole family together again. Your father and I were just saying how that property of yours was meant for gatherings like this. The coffee cup froze halfway to my lips. Excuse me. Well, you have all that space and that lovely garden you've put in. Jackson remembered it from when he visited that one time, when you were being difficult about the inheritance thing. Anyway, he and Isabella have their hearts set on it. We're thinking September 15th, and the vendors are already excited. My laugh came out sharp and cold. No. She paused. What do you mean, no? I mean, no. N-O, you can't have Jackson's wedding here. This is my home, not your event space. Sophia. Her voice dropped to that familiar, manipulative whisper. Don't be selfish. This is your brother's special day. After everything we've done for you, everything you've done for me, I stood up so fast my coffee spilled, like kicking me out at 18 or stealing my inheritance. Oh, please not this again. You're still so dramatic. Mark, talk to your daughter. I heard shuffling, then my father's gruff voice. Sophia, you're embarrassing your mother. The invitations are already printed. We're having this wedding at your place whether you like it or not. You wouldn't dare turn away 200 guests in person. You care too much about your reputation. The threat hung in the air between us. They thought they knew me, the people-pleasing daughter who'd rather die than cause a scene. They were counting on my shame to control me just like always. Try me, I said quietly. Now listen here. Dad started, but I cut him off. No, you listen. Show up on my property uninvited and I'll have you arrested for trespassing. Try me, please. Mom grabbed the phone back. You ungrateful little. Fine. Ruin your brother's wedding. Add it to the list of ways you've disappointed this family. The call ended. I stood there shaking as memories flooded back years of subtle cuts and calculated cruelty always. Jackson first, always my dreams last. The missing inheritance that mysteriously funded my brother's business venture. The constant attempts to shape me into their carbon copy. My phone buzzed with a text from Jackson. Can't wait to celebrate my big day at your place, sis. Isabella's already talking to decorators. Try not to mess this up for me like you always do. I walked inside to my office and opened my laptop. They thought they knew me, the pushover, the disappointment, the black sheep who'd roll over and take it. But I wasn't that girl anymore. Fine, I whispered, pulling up my contacts. You want to play? Let's play. I dialed my friend Olivia's number. She picked up on the second ring. Hey girl, what's up? Remember when you said your uncle's a judge? I smiled, feeling a plan take shape. I need a favor. Actually, I need several favors, and I need you to hear me out before you tell me I'm crazy. Olivia laughed. Oh God, what are you plotting? Justice, I said, opening my calendar to September 15th. Sweet, perfectly legal, absolutely spectacular justice. The game was on, and this time I was writing the rules. The attic stairs creaked under my feet as I climbed up flashlight beam bouncing off dust motes. I hadn't been up here since moving in, but my mother's call had stirred something, a need to remember to document. You're sure you want to do this? Olivia called from below. We could just drink wine and plot revenge instead. I need evidence, I called back. Everything they did to me, I kept records, journals, photos, documents. I knew someday they'd try something like this. The beam caught a stack of boxes labeled "Do Not Open" in my teenage handwriting. Fitting, I dragged them to the center of the floor and sat cross-legged. Oh my God, Olivia gasped, reaching the top step. Is that you? She pointed to a photo that had slipped out to teenage me standing proud next to my first art show piece, Mom and Dad scowling in the background while Jackson played on his phone. Yep, the day I won the state competition. Also the day they told me art would lead to poverty and shame. I opened the first journal. My handwriting was smaller than cramped with anger. They took my acceptance letter to art school and ripped it up. Dad says no daughter of his will waste her life on paintings. Mom says I'm breaking her heart. Jackson got a new car for getting C's in pre-law, but my straight A's in AP art mean nothing. Olivia squeezed my shoulder. Jesus, Sophia. Wait, there's more. I pulled out a manila envelope, hands shaking slightly. This is from the night they kicked me out. Inside was a crumpled letter dated the day after my high school graduation in my father's precise handwriting. As you have chosen to defy this family's wishes and pursue your selfish interests, you leave us no choice. You have until morning to vacate this house. Your college fund will be reallocated to more deserving purposes. Do not contact us until you've come to your senses. More deserving purposes meant Jackson's third attempt at law school, I explained, which he dropped out of anyway to start his failed tech startup. The one-year inheritance mysteriously funded? Olivia raised an eyebrow. Speaking of which, I dug deeper into the box. Where is it? I know I kept it. I pulled out another envelope, this one official looking. Olivia leaned in as I spread the contents across the floor. Holy, she whispered. There it was in black and white, a letter from my godmother's estate lawyer dated 10 years ago. The inheritance she'd left me nearly $200,000 for my education and future, and beside it, bank documents showing the money transferred to an account in my father's name as my legal guardian just 2 months before I turned 18. They kept this from you, Olivia's voice shook with anger. Transferred it all to Jackson. Called it a family decision. I only found out because the lawyer's assistant felt guilty and slipped me copies. That's straight up theft. Yeah. I stood up, brushing dust off my jeans. And now they want to steal my home for their perfect golden child's wedding. Because that's what they do, take and take and take. My phone buzzed. A text from Isabella. Just toured some florists. Can't wait to transform your shabby little garden into something actually elegant. Olivia read it over my shoulder and swore. Please tell me we're destroying them. Oh, we are. I gathered the documents carefully. But first, we're going to see your uncle. Because everything I'm about to do needs to be completely, beautifully legal. The judge, you're serious about involving him. I picked up the photo of my teenage self, young, proud, unbroken. They think they can just walk in and take over my life again like I'm still that scared kid who'll do anything to please them. But you're not. Olivia grinned. No. I tucked the evidence into my bag. I'm the woman who built an empire from their ashes, and I'm about to remind them exactly who they're dealing with. We headed downstairs, Olivia already typing on her phone. Uncle Lucas says he can meet us for lunch. Says he's intrigued. Perfect. I locked the attic door, leaving the ghosts of my past where they belonged. Tell him to bring any paperwork we might need for converting residential property into an event venue. Oh, and ask if he knows anyone in the Pride community who might want to throw a really big party on September 15th. Olivia's eyes widened, then she burst out laughing. You're evil. I love it. Not evil, I corrected, feeling lighter than I had in days. Just finally done playing nice. The sun streamed through my windows, catching the dust we'd stirred up. It looked almost like glitter, like magic, like karma getting ready to dance. So let me get this straight, Judge Lucas said, peering at the documents spread across his desk. Your family stole your inheritance, kicked you out, and now they're trying to commandeer your property for a wedding you've explicitly refused to host. That's the short version, I nodded, watching him flip through the paperwork. The long version involves years of emotional abuse and about 50 more examples of my brother getting everything while I got nothing. Olivia, perched on the office windowsill, held up her phone. And look at this, they're already advertising the venue online, Sophia's address and everything. Lucas clicked through Jackson and Isabella's wedding website. Sure enough, there was my house, my gardens, even my custom-built fountain featured in their photo gallery. Our dream venue, the caption read, where family traditions begin. The audacity is almost impressive, Lucas mused, but legally they don't have a leg to stand on. This is clear trespassing if they proceed. I want more than just keeping them out, I said. I want consequences. Real ones. The inheritance theft has a statute of limitations. I checked, but that's not what I'm after. I want to turn their own weapon against them, public shame. Lucas leaned back, a slight smile playing at his lips. Go on. I want to legally rent out my property as an event venue specifically to the Rainbow Coalition's annual Pride Festival on September 15th, Olivia snorted. Dad's going to have an aneurysm. He nearly disowned cousin Aiden just for attending Pride last year. It gets better. I pulled up my laptop. Look what I found when I Googled Jackson's new company. The screen showed a business news article, Rising Tech Star Secures Conservative Family Values Investment Group Funding. He's been marketing himself as this traditional values warrior, I explained, getting backing from all these ultra conservative investors. The wedding's supposed to be his big society debut. And instead of a fancy country club ceremony, Olivia cackled, he's going to walk into a full-blown pride festival. Lucas studied me carefully. You understand this will burn every bridge. Your family will never forgive this. There's nothing left to burn, I said quietly. They made sure of that a long time ago. He nodded, reaching for his phone. I know someone who handles event permits, and the Rainbow Coalition's director owes me a favor. Give me an hour. While Lucas made calls, I checked my email. 3 new messages from my mother, each more demanding than the last. The final one included a detailed list of minor renovations they expected me to complete before the wedding. They really think they own your place, Olivia said, reading over my shoulder. They think they own me, I corrected. That's why this has to be perfect. My phone buzzed. An unknown number. The text made my blood freeze. Hey, stranger. Heard about Jackson's wedding. Your mom suggested I reach out. Would love to catch up. Caleb. Who's Caleb? Olivia asked. My ex. The one they tried to marry me off to right before everything fell apart. I showed her his Instagram profile, corporate lawyer, family approved, total snake. Damn, they're really pulling out all the stops. They think he's their secret weapon, the one that got away who'll make me nostalgic and compliant. I smiled grimly. They have no idea they just handed me another piece of ammunition. Lucas hung up his phone. Good news. The coalition is thrilled. They'll have permits filed by tomorrow. Now about that inheritance. I thought you said the statute of limitations. For criminal charges, yes. But civil suits. His eyes twinkled. Those have different rules, especially when there's documented fraud involved. I sat straighter. I'm listening. File the suit the day before the wedding. When they show up with their guests and find a pride festival instead of their venue, they'll cause a scene guaranteed. And when that scene goes viral, the conservative investors will run screaming. Brilliant, Olivia finished. My phone buzzed again. Jackson this time. Hey sis, mom says you're being difficult. Don't worry, we've got it handled. Caleb is coming to talk sense into you, just like old times. I showed the message to Lucas. Can we add harassment to that civil suit? Oh yes, he said, pulling out fresh paperwork. We can add quite a lot. I spent the next hour signing documents, each signature feeling like another nail in my family's coffin of consequences. Last chance to back out, Lucas warned. I thought of all those years of pain of watching Jackson get everything while I got nothing of my mother's manipulation and my father's dismissal. No, I said firmly. It's their turn to lose something. Olivia raised an imaginary glass. To karma. I smiled, feeling dangerous and alive. To karma. The email from my mother arrived with a dozen attachments. Just some precious memories to remind you of family, the subject line read. I opened the first photo and felt my jaw clench me at 6 standing in front of our old house, Dad's hand gripping my shoulder too tightly. Mom's plastic smile, Jackson front and center with a trophy for participation in T-ball. Look how happy we were, Mom wrote, before you became so difficult. Olivia appeared behind me with 2 glasses of wine. More manipulation, old photos. They're trying to guilt me with childhood memories. I scrolled through them. Oh, this is rich. They included pictures of Caleb. There he was at my high school graduation. While I stood in my valedictorian robe, he was already cozying up to my mother. I remembered that day clearly. He'd spent more time discussing law firms with my father than celebrating with me. My phone lit up. Speaking of the devil. Sophia! Caleb's smooth voice filled my kitchen. You're looking gorgeous on LinkedIn these days. What do you want, Caleb? Can a guy check in on an old flame your mom mentioned? Of course she did. I put him on speaker so Olivia could hear. Let me guess, she asked you to convince me about the wedding. He laughed that practiced lawyer laugh. Always so direct. How about dinner for old time's sake? I'm in town next week. Still married to your job, or did that paralegal finally wise up and leave? Silence then. You've gotten bitter, Sophia. No, I've gotten successful. Without anyone's help. But hey, tell my mom you tried. Bill her for your time. She loves throwing money at people who do her dirty work. I hung up as Olivia slow clapped. Brutal. I love it. My laptop pinged. A new email from Isabella CC'd to half the country club. Wedding update. Sophia's being so generous with her lovely home. Here's our final vendor list. I scanned the attached spreadsheet, blood boiling. They'd booked everything. Caterers, florists, valet parking, all under my name and address. They're really doing this, Olivia whispered. Oh, but wait, it gets better. I opened the next email. They're billing me for it. There it was, a $45,000 catering invoice in my name. Mom's email followed quickly. Oops, didn't mean to put your card down, sweetie, but since it's already processed. They're trying to trap you financially, Olivia realized. Make you invest so much you can't back out. Classic move. Dad did the same thing when he forced me into pre-law courses. I forwarded everything to Lucas, but they forgot something important. What's that? I pulled up my business banking app. I'm not that broke teenager anymore. I can afford to lose their deposit money. Can they afford to lose face? My phone buzzed again. Jackson had posted on Instagram a photo of my garden with the caption, "Future wedding venue. Can't wait to class up this place. Sorry sis, but your artsy vision needs a proper society upgrade." The comments were already flowing in from his conservative business circle. Traditional values win. Showing the black sheep how it's done. Family over foolishness. Olivia read them and swore. They're really painting you as the fallen woman reformed through their intervention. Let them. I opened my laptop and pulled up the Pride Festival's social media, because in 6 weeks, that narrative is going to explode in their faces. The festival organizers had already started their promotional materials. My property would host 3 stages, food trucks, drag shows, and a headline performance by a famous queer artist. The permits were ironclad, the contracts signed. My phone lit up with a text from Lucas. Civil suit paperwork filed and sealed. They won't see it coming until the day before. Also, Caleb's firm might want to know he's harassing potential legal opponents. I smiled and forwarded Caleb's call recording to his managing partner's email. You're really going scorched earth, Olivia observed. They started the fire. I closed my laptop. I'm just making sure they burn with it. Another email from Mom. Darling, Isabella's mother reserved the country club as a backup, but we know you'll do the right thing. You wouldn't want people thinking you're still that angry little girl who ruins family occasions. I thought of the pride flags that would soon fill my garden, of the music that would drown out their judgment of Jackson's face when his conservative investors saw viral videos of him trying to crash a queer festival. Actually, Mom, I whispered to the screen, that angry little girl grew up and she's about to ruin so much more than just an occasion. Olivia raised her wine glass. To the angry little girl. I clinked my glass against hers. To the woman she became. The countdown to September 15th had begun, and with every manipulative message, every entitled demand, they were only making my revenge sweeter. September 15th dawned bright and clear. By 7:00 a.m., my property was already transforming. Rainbow flags lined the driveway, food trucks rumbled into position, and sound engineers tested the stages. I sat on my porch, sipping coffee, watching security teams establish checkpoints. They're here, Olivia called from her lookout position 2 blocks away. Whole convoy of cars right on schedule. I smoothed my dress and checked my phone. The live stream was already running, catching everything. The first vehicle, a sleek Mercedes, screeched to a halt at my gate. Mom burst out, designer heels sinking into the gravel. Sophia, she shrieked, face reddening at the pride flags. What is the meaning of this? I smiled serenely. Welcome to the Rainbow Coalition's annual Pride Festival. Do you have tickets? More cars arrived. Dad Jackson and Isabella emerged along with what looked like half the country club behind them. Rental vans carrying flowers and catering supplies lined the street. Tickets! Jackson stormed forward. This is my wedding. No, I corrected, nodding to security. This is a legally permitted private event and you're all trespassing. Isabella, resplendent in white, shoved past security. You can't do this. We have contracts. Actually, I held up my phone. You have fraudulent documents with my forged signature. I've never agreed to host your wedding, but I did sign a legitimate contract with the coalition 6 weeks ago. The catering manager approached, looking confused. Mrs. Carter, where should we set up? That would be me, I smiled. And you should probably contact whoever actually hired you because it wasn't me, despite what that invoice claims. Mom's face went from red to purple. You ungrateful little... Music suddenly boomed from all 3 stages. The first wave of festival goers started arriving, decked out in glitter and rainbow gear. Many stopped to live stream the unfolding drama. You're ruining everything, Jackson shouted. My investors are coming. Oh, I know. I pointed to the news van pulling up. I invited them along with the press. Smile for the cameras, brother dear. I hear your conservative backers love viral videos. Isabella lunged forward, trying to tear down a pride flag. She managed to shove a drag queen in the process, who fell dramatically. Assault, Olivia called out helpfully. We all saw that assault. Good thing we have police on site. 2 officers approached as Isabella screeched about her ruined wedding. Mom tried intercepting them with her best society smile. Officers, there's been a mistake. This is a family matter. This is a permitted event. One cop corrected, checking his paperwork, and you're all trespassing. Please return to your vehicles. I'll destroy you for this, Dad growled, jabbing a finger at me. You think, I cut in, loudly aware of all the phones recording. You should check your email, particularly the one from my lawyers about the stolen inheritance. His face went pale. Behind him, Jackson's phone was blowing up, probably investors seeing the emerging social media storm. Last chance, I announced. Leave voluntarily or be escorted out on camera. Your choice. Isabella chose option 3. She tried rushing the gate again. The police intervened as she screamed about her perfect day being ruined. Mom burst into theatrical tears. Dad looked ready to explode. My father is a senator, Isabella shrieked as officers led her back. You'll regret this. Speaking of regrets, I pulled out my phone. Should we discuss the fraudulent catering charges, the forged contracts, the documented harassment? More festival attendees arrived, forming an impromptu audience. Someone started a bye-bye bigots chant. Jackson's face crumpled as he checked his phone again. The Thompson Group is pulling out, he whispered. All my funding. Karma's a bitch, Olivia sang from beside me, and so is Sophia. Mom made one last attempt, voice dripping poison honey. Sophia, sweetie, think about what you're doing to this family. I am. I met her eyes. I'm giving you exactly what you deserve. The police began clearing them out as the festival kicked into full swing. I watched my family retreat, Mom crying, Dad raging, Jackson frantically calling investors, Isabella having a full meltdown in her wedding dress. Olivia bumped my shoulder. How does it feel? I watched the last of their cars disappear, replaced by an endless stream of festival goers. Music pumped through my gardens, joy and celebration replacing what would have been my family's toxic pageantry. It feels, I said, accepting a rainbow flag from a passing dancer, absolutely perfect. But the day wasn't over, not even close. Because in exactly 1 hour, their lawyers would receive notice of my civil suit, and then the real fireworks would begin. The video hit 2 million views by midnight, entitled, Wedding Party Crashes, Pride Festival Chaos Ensues. The comment section was a battlefield of support and outrage. Did you see the bride try to assault that drag queen? Olivia scrolled through her phone. That clip alone has gone viral. My own phone hadn't stopped buzzing since the event ended. Most surprising was the message from Caleb's law firm. We apologize for our associates' involvement in this harassment. Appropriate action has been taken. He got fired, Olivia peered at the message. Suspended, probably. Turns out, attempting to intimidate someone you know is filing a major civil suit isn't great for your legal career. The Pride Festival had been a massive success, raising record donations for LGBTQ+ youth programs. But the real explosion came when Lucas's office served the civil suit papers. My laptop pinged with an incoming video call. Dad's face appeared red and contorted. You little snake, he spat. 2 million, you're suing us for 2 million. Plus interest, I corrected calmly. The documentation is quite clear about the inheritance theft. Would you like me to share my screen and review it together? Mom shoved into frame. We did what was best for this family. Jackson needed my money just like he needed my house. Funny how that works. The investors are pulling out, Jackson's voice cracked from somewhere off screen. All of them. Do you know what you've done? Exposed you, yes, that was rather the point. A new email popped up from the church board, where Dad served as deacon, subject line emergency meeting regarding recent events. Oh, look. I forwarded it to them. The church board got my evidence package. They seemed particularly interested in the financial fraud documents. Dad's face went from red to white. You wouldn't dare. I already did. Check your inbox. I sent copies to every board member along with video highlights from today's festival. You know where you tried to physically intimidate me on camera. Mom burst into tears. After everything we've sacrificed. Save it for court, Olivia called from behind me. I'm sure the judge will love your performance. Isabella appeared, mascara streaked down her face. My mother's friends are all sharing that horrible video. Our reputation is ruined. Welcome to consequences, I said. How does it feel to not get your way for once? My phone lit up with a text from Lucas. Local news wants to interview you. Your story is gaining traction. Also, opposing counsel already reached out about settlement talks. I held up my phone to the screen. See that your lawyers know you can't win this. The evidence is ironclad. So here's what's going to happen. You can't dictate terms to us, Dad thundered. We're your parents. No. I corrected. You're defendants in a civil suit. And you're going to settle. You're going to publicly apologize and you're going to repay every penny you stole with interest. Or what Jackson challenged. or I take this to trial. Every document, every email, every manipulative text becomes public record. How do you think your remaining investors will feel about that? Mom's tears dried instantly. You wouldn't. Try me. I leaned forward. Oh, and Dad, the church board meets tomorrow at 900. I've been invited to present my evidence in person. Shall I tell them you said hello? The screen exploded with overlapping voices until Olivia reached over and hit mute. I think they get the point, she grinned. My phone buzzed again. A news notification. Wedding drama goes viral. Local businesswoman exposes family's attempted property takeover. Below it, a message from an unfamiliar number. Hi, I'm a producer with Netflix. Would you be interested in discussing your story? Holy, Olivia breathed. You're going to be famous. I unmuted the video call. They were still arguing amongst themselves. 24 hours, I announced. That's how long you have to agree to my terms. After that, I do the news interview, and trust me, I'll tell them everything. You're bluffing, Jackson said weakly. I shared my screen showing them the Netflix message. Am I? Dad's face hardened. You'll regret this. Family is everything. No, I said softly. Self-respect is everything. You taught me that, actually, by showing me exactly what happens when you don't have any. I ended the call as another news alert popped up. Conservative investment group distances itself from viral wedding scandal. Olivia poured us both fresh wine. Think they'll settle. They have to. Dad can't lose his church position. Mom can't lose her social status. Jackson can't lose his remaining investors. I smiled. They're trapped by the very things they always used to trap me. Karma really is a beautiful thing. I raised my glass. To karma and to consequences. Outside, the last of the pride flags fluttered in the evening breeze. My phone kept buzzing with messages and alerts, but for the first time in years, I felt perfectly, wonderfully at peace. The truth was finally out, and it was glorious. The mediation room felt too small for all the tension it contained. My parents sat across the table, their expensive lawyer between them. Jackson slumped in a corner phone, dark and silent, no investors left to call. Let's review the terms, Lucas said, spreading documents across the table. Full repayment of the inheritance with interest, public apology, binding agreement to cease all contact unless initiated by my client. Mom's lawyer leaned forward. My clients are prepared to repay the inheritance, but the public apology is non-negotiable. I cut in. Just like the restraining order, I'll file if they refuse. Sophia, Dad started, but Lucas held up a hand. Mr. Carter, need I remind you that speaking directly to my client violates our ground rules. The door opened, and a court clerk entered with more paperwork. The judge is ready to review your settlement unless anyone has changed their mind about going to trial. Mom's perfect makeup couldn't hide her flinch. Trial meant discovery. Discovery meant every ugly detail becoming public record. We'll settle, their lawyer sighed. I watched them sign paper after paper. With each signature, years of control slipped away. When they reached the public apology draft, Dad's hand shook. This will ruin us at church, he whispered. Should have thought of that before stealing from your daughter, Olivia muttered from her spot by the window. Jackson finally spoke up. What about Isabella? What about her? I asked. She left. Said she can't marry into a family with this kind of scandal. Sounds like a personal problem. Mom sniffed dramatically. Are you happy now, destroying your brother's happiness? Lucas cleared his throat. Mrs. Carter, the next violation of our speaking rules will end this mediation. Would you prefer to face a jury? She fell silent, but her eyes burned with familiar venom. I'd seen that look so many times growing up, right before she'd tear into me about being difficult, ungrateful, wrong. But I wasn't that little girl anymore. The clerk returned with the judge, who reviewed our settlement quickly. Everything appears in order, she said. The public apology will be posted by 5:00 p.m. today. The financial restitution must be completed within 30 days, and the no-contact order is effective immediately. Your Honor, Dad tried one last time. She's our daughter. And you stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from her, the judge cut in. Count yourself lucky this was settled civilly. Dismissed. Outside the courthouse, reporters waited with cameras. My parents tried to dodge them, but their lawyer held them back. The apology needs to be public, he reminded them. Better to do it now than have them catch you running away. I watched from the steps as they faced the cameras. Dad's carefully crafted statement felt like victory. We acknowledge our wrongful actions against our daughter Sophia. We misappropriated her inheritance and attempted to seize control of her property. Our behavior was unconscionable. We accept full responsibility and will make complete restitution. The questions exploded. Why did you steal from your own daughter? Was this a pattern of behavior? How do you respond to the viral wedding video? Mom cracked first. We did everything for this family. To control me, I finished stepping forward. The cameras swung my way. But that's over now, and I have something to announce. Olivia squeezed my arm encouragingly. The stolen inheritance money, I continued. Every penny will be donated to establish a scholarship fund for artists and creators whose families tried to silence their dreams. The reporters loved that. More questions flew. What inspired this decision? Will you press criminal charges? How does it feel to stand up to family abuse? Through the chaos, I caught Jackson's eye. For a moment, my little brother looked lost. No fiancé, no investors, no golden child pedestal left to stand on. I hope you learn from this, I told him quietly. It's never too late to build your own life. He nodded slightly before our parents dragged him away. As they disappeared into their car, Caleb of all people appeared at the courthouse entrance. He looked rough. Suspension had clearly taken its toll. Sophia, he called out, I need to say something. Make it quick. I'm sorry. For everything. For helping them pressure you back then, for trying to manipulate you now. You deserved better. I studied him, the first person from my past to offer a genuine apology. Thank you, I said simply. Now please leave. He did. Olivia linked her arm through mine as we headed to my car. How does freedom feel? I thought about the scholarship fund, about the messages I'd received from other people standing up to family abuse, about my quiet house, my thriving business, my life built from scratch. It feels like I finally have my own happy ending. Oh, honey, she grinned. This isn't an ending, this is a whole new beginning. She was right. The story wasn't over, but for the first time, I was the one holding the pen. The autumn breeze carried dead leaves across my parents' overgrown lawn. Their house, once the symbol of their perfect family facade, stood empty, foreclosure signs stark against peeling paint. You sure about this? Olivia asked from the car. I placed the bouquet of black lilies at the gate. Closure matters. My phone buzzed with another interview request. The documentary crew wanted final shots for their series. Family Fraud and Freedom had become Netflix's latest viral hit. More importantly, it had sparked a movement of others sharing their stories of standing up to toxic families. Did you see Jackson's new apartment? Olivia scrolled through social media. Studio above a laundromat. Quite a change from his penthouse. Mom and Dad can't bail him out anymore, I said, not since the church board stripped Dad of his position and their social circle crumbled. A car slowed as it passed, probably another rubbernecker hoping to spot the family from the viral video. Mom and Dad had fled to a distant cousin's guest house, their carefully constructed reputation in shambles. Ready to go? Olivia asked. The scholarship committee meets in an hour. I took a final look at my childhood prison. Yeah, let's do something that actually matters. At the community center, dozens of young artists waited nervously with their portfolios. The Sophia Carter Arts Foundation's first round of scholarships would help them pursue their dreams despite family pressure to conform. My parents threatened to cut me off if I chose dance over medical school. One girl told me, clutching her application, "Your story gave me courage to choose myself." Good, I squeezed her shoulder. Never let anyone dim your light. My phone lit up with a text from Lucas. Final restitution payment cleared. Trust fund officially closed. You're completely free of them. Olivia read it and grinned. How's it feel to be a millionaire? Like responsibility, I replied, watching more applicants arrive. Like turning poison into medicine. The scholarship review began. Each student shared their story of art suppressed, of dreams denied, of families who saw difference as defiance. With each one, I saw echoes of my younger self. My dad says, "Art isn't a real career," a teenage boy explained, showing his photographs, "but it's who I am." Then be who you are, I told him loudly and proudly. Between interviews, I checked my email. Isabella had apparently found a new wealthy family to attach herself to. Caleb's law firm had made him a junior partner again, but he stayed far from family law. And Jackson, speaking of your brother, Olivia showed me her phone. He posted this an hour ago. It was a simple message, starting therapy. Some family patterns need to break. Sorry, sis. Think he means it? Olivia asked. Maybe, but his healing isn't my responsibility anymore. The committee selected 12 scholarship recipients. As I watched them celebrate, hugging and crying, my phone buzzed one final time. A message from an unknown number. "Sophia, it's Mom. I know I'm not supposed to contact you, but I saw the scholarship program. You've helped so many people despite everything I did wrong. You became someone amazing. I'm sorry I couldn't see it sooner." Olivia read it over my shoulder. "You going to respond?" I thought about it, really thought about it, then deleted the message. "Some chapters need to stay closed," I said. "Besides, I have a family now. It's just not the one I was born into." Olivia hugged me tight. "Damn right you do." Outside, the scholarship recipients posed for photos, their joy radiating brighter than any country club wedding could have. This was real legacy, turning years of pain into possibility for others. The documentary team wants to film the scholarship ceremony next week, Olivia mentioned. You ready for more spotlight? I watched the young artists comparing works, sharing dreams, building connections. Yeah, because it's not about me anymore, it's about them, about breaking cycles. And about karma, Olivia added with a wink. And about karma, I agreed. My phone lit up with another message this time from the girl who'd chosen dance over medical school. She attached a video of her first performance. Thank you for showing me that choosing yourself isn't selfish, she wrote. It's survival. I smiled, remembering that scared teenager I used to be, the one who thought standing up meant standing alone. No, I typed back. Thank you for showing me that every act of courage creates ripples. Keep dancing. Olivia gathered the committee for lunch. As we walked out, I caught my reflection in the window, strong, steady, free. No more ghosts, no more chains, just possibility stretching endless as the autumn sky. Coming, Olivia called. Yeah, I said, turning away from the past for the final time. I'm ready. And I was ready for whatever came next, because that's the thing about writing your own story. There's always another page waiting to be filled.